Hey guys, welcome back if you are returning to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are enjoying your week so far. So today I decided to kind of share with you guys more or less the top 5 things that I've learned during my practice in mediumship, um, while learning, just kind of like the overall experience so far that I've learned. Um, some of the do's and don'ts, just in terms of having any type of spiritual gifts. Things that I didn't really know starting out. Um, it's a journey. I know, like, everyone with spiritual gifts, it's different for everyone. The spiritual awakening is, different in terms of like your path. So far my path, going down the spiritual journey it's been exciting. It's been hard. It's just been a lot, and like I can't really sum it up to you guys because it's so much, so many layers. But with that, with the journey I've been on, with me being able to practice mediumship and learning, how to channel my gifts and the experience of it all, and the fact that I can help other people, not just people that are here with us in the living, but people who have lost loved ones. Or it may be passed on spirits that will present themselves to me, and I will, give out their story, give out their reading, which I think so far I've done maybe 2 or 3. But outside of that, I've also done personal readings for other people. So I'm going to share with you guys the top 5 things. I don't know, I may have 6. So I've learned so much, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to just the 5. So the first thing that I have learned in my practice of mediumship is when spirits come through, and this is just with any reading I've done, I'm pretty sure other mediums will probably confirm this as well. Everybody's fashion of how they read is different, so I definitely understand that. But I'm pretty sure they will confirm this one. This is number 1. So this one would be where, I'm doing the reading, and the spirit of that individual, they have messages, of course, for their loved ones, or things that overall they, wish they had time to say. There's like many things that happen in that process while information is being, exchanged between me and that spirit, and giving it to their loved ones in return. It's a lot. It could either be and this is what I've gathered from it while experiencing this. When the spirit is giving, their messages, sometimes it's like a boatload of stuff all at once. But then there's sometimes that I've noticed that they just don't have a lot to say, but there's, maybe a couple of things that they just want to say that they may feel is very important to them, that they want to relay, to that loved one that they left behind. I've also learned, which is number 2. So the number 2 thing I've learned in practicing mediumship would be that I can't really control, what messages come out. Like, it's just like, if you guys really think about it, and what it means to be a medium, it's just like you go into court, maybe you're in court suing someone, or you're going to court but you need representation because you don't quite know how to speak on your behalf. So it's kind of like that, where I'm like the middleman and I'm just relaying messages, basically. Now, what those messages are, can't really control that. It's like whatever is transferred to me, which I've learned with some of the people, like some personal readings I've done. People have kind of been a little frustrated in that aspect, because I think there were like 2 instances where the person I was given a reading for, I wouldn't say they got really upset, but they got very antsy, and they wanted me to try to, ask certain questions. Like it was certain things that they needed, answers to, or they wanted to talk about. And the spirit, didn't want to relay that. They didn't want to kind of, whatever the subject was, they kind of steered away from that. They didn't want to, necessarily talk about that. So like being in that situation has been a little frustrating. So I'd say that's the number 2 thing I've learned is, while I'm giving these messages, I'm only giving what they will allow me to speak on, and what I interpret from the messages that are coming through. And so I have to really honor that, because again, it's like I'm speaking for them. And again, this is like literally any medium that you go to. Like, overall, you can't really control what a spirit wants to say, what they don't want to talk about. It's totally up to that spirit of that individual. So, yeah, that's out of my control. I'm just a messenger. The number 3 thing that I've learned is, if a spirit comes through, it's pretty much, again, up to them. It's up to them if they want to come through. I can't necessarily control when that spirit wants to come through. It could either be them coming through, or they don't come through because they don't have anything to say. And it's really simple as that. And that's what I've learned experiencing that. Like, there have been occasions where You know, I would try on my end to see if that spirit, you know, wants to come through. And not all the time, but very, like I've noticed just very little moments where, you know, that spirit just didn't want to come through. And again, that's out of my control. And then I don't have really any control over when they decide to come through. They could come through at any moment or not at all. So that I would say that's number 3. Yeah, that's number 3. And then number 4, the fourth thing that number the fourth thing. I don't know why my words is all over the place. The fourth thing that I've learned while practicing mediumship is if basically a spirit does come through, that 9 times out of 10, it's not even 9 times out of 10, basically they have unfinished business, you know, with whatever loved one that they want to speak to. The unfinished business could be, you know, things that they really didn't say, you know, before their time was up. It could be them giving that loved one just encouragement. Most of the time the messages are not, they're not, like most of the time the spirits don't kind of come through angry, I've noticed. But I have noticed that, like, when they come through, it's with urgency in most cases, because they just really want to, it's kind of like getting it off their chest, if that makes sense. And they just want their loved one to know, you know, how they're doing. They want to just say their final words. Because again, in most cases, you know, right when that person's passed away, they didn't have time to say those things. So 9 times out of 10, when a spirit comes through, it's more than likely because they want to speak their truth, maybe on something that probably happened surrounding their situation, like surrounding them dying, but not into the specifics of their death, if that makes sense. Like, that's another thing that I've noticed on this journey. Most spirits that come through to me while I've been, you know, practicing at this point, you know, in doing, you know, the whole mediumship thing, is there's certain, like, details they don't want to talk about, especially if they died in a certain way. Like if the way that they died was too gruesome and just maybe it wasn't peaceful type of death, I notice that they don't like to talk about that. They don't want to. I'm not saying it's not possible, because I truly feel like it is. You know, a spirit can just give out whatever information they choose. But I notice since I've been, you know, doing the readings and giving out the messages to either, you know, a personal reading, or either it's been like a reading that I've done here on YouTube, pretty much the same thing. Like, most of the time they don't want to talk about how they died, what they was feeling in those last moments. Like, they try to stay away from certain specifics surrounding the death. Now, do they talk about, like, can emotions come through in terms of like how the spirit is feeling? Yes, because that still ties into, energy. All of it is really energy. It's their energy, right down to the thing they want to say from how they may be feeling, is what I've learned that I can interpret for them. But again, like if they, I don't know, died in a car crash or maybe somebody shot them, they don't, like if they're uncomfortable, they will not speak on it. So I would say that's, another main thing that I've noticed with, all of these readings I've done. They'll discuss certain things and certain things they won't, especially concerning how they died, if it was too traumatic. Because I have learned that spirits, that even though they're like not here in the physical with us anymore, they still have feelings. They still, they may have died in a peaceful way, or they may have died in a very gruesome, traumatic way. So if it was very traumatic and gruesome, it may be too traumatizing for them to speak on. And so they're not ready to speak on that. Especially if that spirit may not yet be at peace with what has taken place, because sometimes that can come across as well. So yeah, I would say that's the other thing I've learned. That was number 4. So I would say then the number 5 thing that the 5th thing that I've learned while practicing mediumship, just giving either medium readings or psychic, collective energy readings or personal readings, whatever. I've learned that I can't force anyone to get a reading, nor can I read on people without their knowledge. Reason for that, so far I've learned, is that it goes against their free will. Like it's like me snooping basically on them. So I've had to like practice not to do that, and try to, I guess, do more research as to just the do's and don'ts. There's a lot of it that I still just don't understand. It's just a lot that I'm still learning. I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm on my way, and I'm constantly ready and willing to take whatever resources I can, and do more brushing up on my training my energy, and whatever else that I need to do to become the bestest version of myself. So still learning the do's and don'ts, but that is a 5th thing that I've learned overall in this is I cannot read on anyone without their knowledge. I also can't force someone to get a reading from me. Like, it has to be out of their own free will. And if it's not out of their free will, that's bad karma on me, among other things that I've learned. It is definitely a consequence that comes with that if I choose to abuse my power, basically. Which, again, I didn't know that when I first started. It was very hard for me to, like, not read people. Not that I was trying to do it maliciously, like, oh, I want to see what that person is doing so I can, snoop and be evil. No. That's never really been my intent. But I think when I first started into my journey, I just didn't understand a lot of this. I didn't understand why I was picking up on certain things, and even being in the same room as someone else, or maybe in passing in the streets, like, and I encountered a person, like, even family members, like, I wouldn't say I couldn't control my abilities. I would say that because it was all just fresh to me, I didn't understand, the ins and outs of everything, again, the do's and don'ts. So most of the time I caught myself, like, reading on people when I shouldn't have been reading on them. And as time has progressed, I've, learned that, certain techniques to use to not do that. And I've also learned, what can happen if I choose to, take away someone's free will and, be nosy and abuse my power because I think I can. Like, I've learned that there is consequence to that, and, that's not right for me to do. Again, so I would say that's the fifth thing that I've learned. So normally if I do offer a reading, I will offer it to the public, and if someone wants a reading, great. If they don't, keep it moving, basically. So definitely don't. I don't want the smoke behind it. I'm going to just leave it like that. So yeah, still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to take my time with all of this. And I want to say, I don't know. Oh, I know this is supposed to be top 5 things, but I'll just have to change the caption. The sixth thing that I've noticed while practicing mediumship is when I am doing a reading on a person that has passed on, a spirit that, wants to give out their messages to their loved one. Majority of the time, it's not even majority, I can't even use that word. When they come through, it's a lot of regret. Like, it's a lot of regret in terms of they wish they had more time. That is probably the number one thing that always comes out of the reading. They just feel like they didn't have enough time to do or say, whatever before they passed. Just big regret of, like, no longer being here. That also comes through most of the time in the readings. So that's another thing. That's like the sixth thing that I've learned. I should have put that as number 1, but y'all get my gist. They truly regret that they didn't have enough time to love on the person that they knew here, in the living, whether that be maybe their husband or a sister or a brother or a grandmother or daughter, son, father, etc. When it concerns just passing the messages on to the loved one, that's literally the number one thing that always gets brought up. They will say, hey, I wish I had more time to do this with this person. I wish I had more time to say this to this person. I will miss this person. I will miss our time we had together. I just didn't have enough time. heavy regret, though, that always comes up. And what I've taken away from that fifth lesson in practicing my mediumship, the biggest takeaway I've took from this experience is that life is precious. Like, so much so that, like, time ain't on our side. It could be within seconds that something traumatic happens and we're no longer here, or our loved ones are no longer here. And what I've taken away from it is to cherish every moment that I have here on earth. If there's something that I can do to help someone, do it. If there's something that I need to say and get off my chest, say it. If there are big dreams and aspirations that I want to achieve, then I need to do it. And be grateful every day that the divine allows me and my children to breathe. Just that alone. Whereas before I came into practicing mediumship, I used to take a lot of things for granted. I used to complain a lot. I used to, woe is me type of energy. Like, or it could just be little stuff I would complain about. Just not really valuing what I did have instead of what I don't have. Just being, I wouldn't say I would be ungrateful necessarily, but it was like just not being thankful that I'm alive and God allowed me to, have a roof over my head, have food in my mouth, provide for my loved ones, and literally take a breath of air in my body. Like, that wasn't the type of mindset I was on not too long ago. Whereas now, I don't fool around with that. I try to take every day that God decides to allow me and my babies to wake up. I pray and I give thanks, and I find that I'm more into a thankful gratitude type of energy, because again, it's like there's so many people losing their lives every single day. As time does not wait for anyone. It could be any of us at any moment. And so being in a position where I'm talking to people that have lost someone, the readings get very emotional on both ends, but especially on the receiver's end. The loved one that spirit is trying to communicate with through me, it can get very heavy in emotions, like, a lot of crying, just a lot of but then also happy tears and many different layers of emotions. But the main thing that comes out of that is, dang, I wish I had more time. Or, dang, I miss them, or um, just a lot of regret. And so for me, it's made me realize that I'm in a wonderful position. I'm truly, truly blessed beyond measure. My children are blessed. My family is blessed. Um, I'm here, and they are here. And so that concept is that very thing right there. The key word. I would say, I'll tell y'all again. I'm here, and they are here. And because I know that now, I don't take anything for granted. To me, and this is just me speaking on this personally, to me, to literally complain about anything, to not give thanks, would be not only selfish, but very just silly, ungrateful. Whereas there are so many people out here that don't have their loved ones anymore, that suffer, that are like in pain, by losing someone that they love. So because, I'm able to make these types of connections, it's made me appreciate life even more. I don't fool around with not praying and not giving, thanks to God, the divine. Like I don't play around with that. I don't. I just don't. Like I can't be in that type of energy to where I'm like, I don't know, to where I get so I don't know, I wouldn't say, like, I'm trying to find a word. Yeah, bear with me. I wouldn't want to get so selfish and so ungrateful and so self-entitled and so just all like the whole world revolves around me, and the minute something doesn't go right, or maybe I had like a bad day, or maybe I'm under a little stress, so now here's my chance. I can just go ahead and complain. Let me go ahead and just be a total brat, and woe is me. I cannot be in that energy whatsoever. I just feel like it doesn't serve me to be in that energy. And quite frankly, at my core, I'm not selfish. So it's almost like, okay, if I choose to be this way, I'm literally being something that I'm not. And so I choose not to operate like that. I choose not to be a selfish brat and think that, I'm the only person out here going through something, or be so ungrateful that I don't give thanks. I don't ever want to be that type of person. So I truly feel like those type of people, they're not only lost, it's pretty sad. I couldn't do nothing but, you know, maybe pray for that individual. Um, you know, because if you're the type of person that you're just always complaining and, you know, the whole world revolves around you and, you know, you're the only one that matters and you complain about everything and, you know, this ain't enough and that ain't enough and, oh my God, woe is me. Like, if you are in that type of energy, I feel sorry for you. Like, that, that's just not, you know, the energy I'm trying to be in. You know, a lot of people, you know, kind of say the saying, you know, it could always be worse, you know, or there's, you know, you're not going through much. There's somebody out here going through something worse than you. And I have to say that holds a lot of weight because it's true. So again, I would say those are the top 6 things that I've learned while practicing mediumship. It's been a beautiful journey, but it's also been very challenging. Very emotional. But along with all that, it's been amazing. I kind of have to say it's been amazing. It's like it's like it's like a balance between the two. It's like good and oh my God, you know, not bad, but it's like up and up, down, up, down, up, down. Just like with the overall experience of you know, being a medium and practicing this type of spiritual work. So it's definitely made me just, I don't know, just be more thankful, be more appreciative, but also be more selfless, but not so selfless to where I'm draining me. Because that would be another downfall that I've had in the past. I would do so much for other people that I would forget myself in return, or I would overwork myself to where I would, you know, exhaust my energy and I would be, you know, drained. So I've learned to, you know, I don't know, do the readings as I feel led to do them. Or like, you know, if obviously a spirit presents itself to me, then on those grounds, yes, do a reading, but not to where it's going to totally drain me. You know. But yeah, I would say those are the number 6 things I have learned. So I told all of y'all that to say that, you know, the next time you are complaining about something, take a few steps back and look at your life. But before you even do that, try to acknowledge that you're breathing. Just like ask yourself, even if you gotta ask yourself that question, am I breathing right now? Are my children, you know, alive and well and healthy? And After you come up with the answer for that, ask yourself the second question of, do I have a roof over my head? Are me and my children going hungry? You know, just the main necessities. And try to do this before you find yourself complaining about something. Even if you have to do it afterwards, you know. Either way, try to stop yourself, you know, at some point and just ask those questions. You know, are you alive and well? Is your family alive and well? Or if you're a parent, are your children alive and well? If the answer is yes to both, then the third thing you would have to ask yourself is, why are you complaining? I'm serious, y'all. Like, I know all of this sounds a little cliche. It may sound cliche to some, but it does not to me. Because it's literally that simple. And it's those type of things that we tend to find ourselves doing because, well, let's be honest, life happens, and you know, when we react to certain things, we don't think about that. You know, am I breathing? Are my children alive and well? Do we have the bare necessities that we need? If I'm complaining, why am I complaining? You know, because again, it does depend on the situation as well. But I said all of that to say that overall, before you feel the need to complain, before you say to yourself, oh my God, why is all this happening to me? And oh, woe is me, and I can't deal with this nonsense. And you know, but just before you explode or before you become dramatically sad about something, whatever the situation is, try to ask yourself those two main questions. And then ask yourself, how many people are not here to do what it is that you're doing currently in this moment in time? How many people? Or how many people do you know that's no longer here? Whether it affected you directly or not. Because the point is, life is too precious. Life is too precious to be, you know, arguing with folks about stupid pettiness. That's not going to mean a whole heap of beans in a minute. It's not going to matter once we're all, you know, 6 feet under. It's just none of it is going to matter. What will matter, and this is just me personally speaking, is how you choose to respond to it all. You know, I don't know. That's just me personally. Like I just have a whole different perspective, I guess you can say, on life and how I choose to respond to things, when I choose to respond to things. Is it necessary to respond to whatever it is? What I should use my energy for, what I shouldn't use it for. Like, if I'm having a stressful situation or day or whatever, is it really that deep that I need to be complaining, or should I be thankful? You know. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all, because I done spent almost damn near an hour talking about mediumship. And I'm still getting over a cold. Like, me and my children, I don't know if we caught the flu, but I would say it was like the common cold. It's been a couple of days, so we're starting to feel somewhat better. We still got a couple more days to go. But yeah, those are the top 6 things I have learned. If you guys found this video to be informational, make sure you hit the, my daughter's coughing. Make sure you hit the like button, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Or you don't have to subscribe. It's totally up to you. Comment down below if you found this information, if you found this video to be informational. Oh my God, I'm half sleepy. And yeah. Also, comment down below if you guys want me to discuss a specific topic or do a reading on a specific person. Maybe you know someone's story that needs to be told, or maybe you want to hear a reading on whoever. Make sure you comment below. Those of you, like I said, that have already subscribed to me, I thank you very, very much for your subscription. I thank you for all of your love and support that you guys send my way. If you take time to view my videos, I thank you, because you don't have to, but you chose to anyway for me. And those of you that are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like, comment, share if you want to. If you know, you feel like somebody else could, I don't know, benefit from this video, then go ahead and do that as well. It doesn't really matter to me. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys all had a fantastic Valentine's Day yesterday. You guys stay vigilant out here. Please watch your comings and goings. Please watch the energy and company that you keep. Very, 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 very important that I specify that. Please, say it again. Watch your comings and goings. Be very careful about protecting your energy and the company that you keep. Be very careful who you exchange your energy with. Just be careful out here, y'all. It's literally all I can say on that. But anyway, I wish you all well. I will catch you guys on the next one. And love and light. Bye.